Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and the commission of USS Carl M. Levin, DDG120. I'm Commander Jason Holbrook, the ship's executive officer. It is my privilege to be your master of ceremonies today. We welcome those with us in person and our friends and family as they participate in today's event via live stream. We are here today to commission the first ship of the line to proudly bear the name of the late Michigan Senator, the Honorable Carl M. Levin, serving twice as the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, first in 2001 to 2003, then from 2007 to his retirement from the United States Senate. Carl Levin was a champion of the United States Armed Forces. Would all active duty service members and veterans please rise? Would all military families please rise? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your service and sacrifice. Please be seated. Our ceremony today is a time-honored tradition that began with the commissioning of our first warship, a captured British schooner, the Margaretta. Since then, thousands of ships have undergone the transformation from silent hulls to fully alive warships. Our commissioning crew, hereafter known as plank owners, are in formation among you and ready to bring our ship alive. In just a few moments, the United States Navy Band will render honors to the Honorable Carlos Del Toro, Secretary of the Navy. Will the guests please rise and remain standing for the arrival of our official party, honors, the presentation of colors, our national anthem, and the invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, our platform guests, Captain Arnold Resnikoff, Chaplain Corps, United States Navy retired, our ceremony chaplain. Captain Mark Stefanik, United States Navy, Deputy Commodore Desron 3-1. Captain Seth Miller, United States Navy, DDG-51 class shipbuilding program manager. Rear Admiral Victor C., United States Navy retired, Carl M. Levin's Commissioning Committee co-chair and long glass presenter. Brigadier General Joseph Nattens, United States Army, retired, Carl M. Levin's Commissioning Committee chairman and long glass presenter. Mr. Charles F. Crew, President, General Dynamics, Bath Iron Works. Rear Admiral Thomas J. Anderson, United States Navy, Program Executive Officer Ships. The Honorable Justin Williams, Deputy Mayor, City of Baltimore, Maryland. Admiral Mike M. Gilday, United States Navy, 32nd Chief of Naval Operations. Ladies and gentlemen, our ship sponsors, Ms. Kate Levin Markle, Ms. Laura Levin, and Ms. Erica Levin, escorted today by Command Master Chief Mark Melia, USS Carl M. Levin's Command Master Chief. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Carlos Del Toro, the 78th Secretary of the Navy, escorted today by Commander Kelly Craft, United States Navy, USS Carl M. Levin's Commanding Officer. Ladies and gentlemen, honors to the Honorable Carlos Del Toro. Platform, hand salute. Platform, ready, two. Advance the colors. Platform, and salute. Retire the colors. Platform, ready, two. Ladies and gentlemen, Rabbi Reznikov will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. O God, who bids the mighty ocean deep its own appointed limits keep, we stand in awe of the seas that reflect your creation and of the handiwork of the men and women, civilian and military alike, responsible for this proud and mighty ship that will sail upon them. As human beings, we pray, reflect, meditate in different ways, but united, celebrate today's commissioning of the USS Carl M. Levin, our Navy's nation's newest ship, one that will carry the bravest of the brave, the men and women of the United States Navy, wherever duty calls, one that honors and reflects the extraordinary integrity, achievements, and moral courage of the man for whom this ship is named. Theodore Roosevelt, not only former president, but assistant SecNav first, taught that a good Navy is the surest guarantor of peace, but that peace itself is not the highest good unless it comes as the handmaiden of righteousness, justice between people and justice between nations. May this ship and crew forever reflect our nation's strength in pursuit of peace with justice. And if they fight, if fight they must, may they reflect the honor, courage, and commitment of those who served before and all those who serve today. Damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead, and tenacious in the fight, like the man this ship was named for. And may we say, Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Reznikov. We would like to thank the United States Navy Band, United States Navy Ceremonial Guard, and the Naval Station Norfolk Saluting Battery for their support today. Additionally, we would like to thank and acknowledge the Maryland Department of Transportation, Maryland Port Authority, and their amazing team, Naval District Washington, the Baltimore City Council of the United States Navy League, and the Carl M. Levin Commissioning Committee for their generosity and support. Will the guests please be seated? Ship's company, parade, rest. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Justin Williams.
Good morning, and thank you, Chaplain, for calling a favor to get the rain to stop just now. Welcome, Secretary Del Toro, distinguished guests, honorable members of the USS Carl M's crew, and fellow citizens. On behalf of the City of Baltimore and Mayor Brandon M. Scott, it is my distinct privilege to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all of you as we gather here today to celebrate the commissioning of the USS Carl M. As the Deputy Mayor who is responsible for economic development, let me say that while you're here, I hope that you stay through the weekend in all our hotels, spend lots of money, have a crab cake at our restaurants, and then before you leave, have a crab cake for the road. Baltimore, a city that is renowned for its vibrant spirit and resilient character, has a storied naval history that has left an indelible mark on the fabric of our community. From the days of clipper ships, traversing the high seas during the Revolutionary War, to propelling the mighty British Navy right over there at Fort McHenry, to forging the steel and building the ships that won the war in the Pacific. Our city's legacy has been long intertwined with the Navy's legacy. As we commission the USS Carl M, we pay homage to the generations of sailors and shipbuilders who have called Baltimore home. We remember the sailors who once set sail from our harbor, braving the unknown. And we remember the shipbuilders whose skill and craftsmanship built the vessels that defended our nation's freedom. The USS Carl M, named in honor of the late senator who dedicated his life to public service and fought for the values we hold dear, carries the weight of our city's naval heritage. Just as Baltimore's shipyards once hummed with activity, constructing the ships that protected our shores, this mighty vessel will carry forward the torch of Baltimore's naval legacy, ensuring our continued commitment to the defense of our nation. Today, as we commission the USS Carl M, let us reflect on the sacrifices made by those who came before us, those who laid the foundation for Baltimore's proud naval tradition. Let us remember the brave men and women who defended our freedom and protected our way of life. They inspire us to embrace our responsibilities as custodians of this great legacy. To all the distinguished guests who joined us today, I thank you for not only gracing our city with your presence, but I thank you for having your presence, which honors the commissioning of this remarkable vessel. It also strengthens the bonds of friendship and camaraderie that exist between our city and the Navy. To the courageous men and women who will serve aboard the USS Carl M, I commend your dedication, bravery, and selflessness. You embody the spirit of Baltimore, resilient, determined, and unwavering in the face of adversity. As you sail the seas, please know that our city, our entire city, stands beside you, supporting you, and praying for fair winds and following seas. Again, on behalf of Mayor Brandon Scott, the City Council, and our entire administration, congratulations to everyone involved and who helped make today possible. May God bless the crew who proudly served this Greyhound. God bless the U.S. Navy. God bless the City of Baltimore. And God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Charles F. Crew.
Good morning. Distinguished guests, Commander Kraft and the crew of the Carl M. Levins, family and friends. I am honored here to represent the nearly 7,000 men and women of General Dynamics Bath Iron Works. This ship represents another chapter in our 139-year legacy, and it's the latest chapter in 4 centuries of shipbuilding along the banks of the Kennebec River in Maine. Ships built in the city of Bath have developed a reputation among the sailors who've sailed on them. Bath built is best built. We strive to be worthy of the reputation of a Bath-built ship by demonstrating our commitment to safely executing high-quality work each day and every day. This is the 38th Arleigh Burke-class destroyer built by Bath Iron Works. Producing these magnificent ships takes hundreds of thousands of hours of engineering, design, and planning, ship fitting, welding, installation of pipe, cable, ventilation, and insulation, thousands of gallons of paint, and a robust test and activation crew. Partnerships with the world-class systems manufacturers like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, General Electric, Rolls-Royce, and supervisor of shipbuilding that helps to inspect and accept the ships for our Navy. I had the opportunity to watch this ship transform from a very complex build project into an Arleigh Burke destroyer. It was most pronounced when this ship went off for sea trials. It was an amazing, almost undescribable transformation that happened in the blink of an eye. Most of the members of our shipbuilding family could not be here with us today in person, but to all the men and women who put their hearts and souls into this incredible and complex ship, we salute you for your commitment to your craft. It is my privilege to represent you today as we present this Bath-built ship for commissioning. This ship represents a tremendous investment in the safety and security of our future, and I have great confidence that this ship, in the hands of our U.S. Navy sailors, it will excel at its mission, protecting our country and our families. Godspeed, USS Carl M. Levins. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krug. Ladies and gentlemen, Admiral Michael Gilday.
Good morning, everyone. On a day like this, at a moment like this, I'm just going to say good morning, shipmates. It's good to be here with you on this historic day. This ship in front of you will sail the high seas for the United States of America for the next 4 decades. And it's an honor to be here in Baltimore. Somebody said to me this morning, it's good to have the Navy back in Baltimore. Baltimore's a Navy town. We never left. What a great day this is for our Navy and for our nation. Today we carry on a Navy tradition that extends back to 1775 as we hoist the commissioning pennant and announce to the world that this mighty warship and its splendid crew are ready to carry out their mission. Today marks the culmination of over 4 years of work since the USS Carl M's keel was laid in February of 2019. Since then, thousands of people, many of them here in the audience, have dedicated their tremendous talent and craftsmanship and skills to the noble cause of bringing this warship to life. All of you should be justly proud to see your work come to fruition. To our industry partners, including the men and women of Bath Iron Works, and to the members of the Carl M Commissioning Committee, thank you for your patriotism and for your dedication. You help make America the arsenal of democracy for the world. To our state and our local government officials, community leaders from here in Baltimore, and the Baltimore Council of the United States Navy League, thank you for hosting this great event in your historic city. And to the ship sponsors, Senator Levin's daughters, Kate, Laura, and Erica, thank you for your family's support to our Navy and to our sailors. It is not lost on us that the man that we call Professor, Assistant Attorney General, and Senator you call Dad. Thank you for sharing his legacy with us, and we hope that you feel welcome as extended members of our big Navy family. As I was reflecting on the legacy of Senator Levin and reading about the many qualities his closest friends and colleagues admired in him, there was one word, there was one quality they kept repeating: integrity. One of his colleagues said that he had all the tools of a great senator, including integrity. Another colleague said he was a man of substance, character, and integrity. Many in the Senate simply just named him Mr. Integrity. Time magazine named Senator Levin as one of our country's 10 best senators. They use words to describe him like not just honest, but totally honest. They called him a foot soldier for justice and a senator who pursued the powerful on behalf of the powerless. I think of all of Senator Levin's great qualities, this one stood out to me because along with accountability and initiative and toughness, integrity is one of our core Navy values. Integrity is what keeps us internally and externally consistent so that we tell the truth and that our conduct is always upright and honorable. Integrity strengthens our resolve to act consistently with our professional values. Integrity earns trust, and integrity builds confidence. It is the very foundation, crew, of our warfighting effectiveness. Senator Levin lived a life of service with integrity, and his example inspires us as we commission this ship and this crew today. The men and the women of the USS Carl M behind you represent some of the best and the brightest in our Navy. They are ready. They are prepared to go in harm's way if required, and they will carry out the orders of our nation. They will serve aboard a mighty U.S. destroyer, the backbone of the United States Navy, and support a variety of missions in the Pacific Fleet far forward, deterring our adversaries and strengthening our relationships with our partners and our allies. They will sail far away, keeping the oceans free and open to ensure not only our prosperity and security, but the prosperity and security of all. And as they do these things like their ship's namesake, they will serve with integrity. These are the men and women who underwrite our Navy's commitment to our country and to the Constitution whose course it directs. To the crew of the USS Carl M and to your families who support and serve alongside you, may God bless you, this great ship, and your many voyages to come. Now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our 78th Secretary of the Navy. He is a man who has demonstrated inspiring and successful leadership time and time again, both in public service and in private business. He is a devoted patriot, a true servant leader, and a shining example of the American dream. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to our Secretary of the Navy, the Honorable Carlos Del Toro.
Thank you. Good morning, Baltimore. All right. Thank you, Admiral Gilday, for the introduction and for, more importantly, your superlative leadership of our Department of the Navy. Before I begin my formal comments, let me again thank the rabbi and the chaplain, because last night at the dinner, I asked them, pulled them both aside, and I said, Rabbi, chaplain, we got a tough job ahead of us here tomorrow. I need you to make sure that there's no rain for this beautiful ceremony. And I'm very pleased that they both came through. They are obviously connected upstairs. So how about another round of applause for our chaplain and our rabbi? I will admit I was a little worried this morning. I also want to take a moment now to recognize our 75th Secretary of the Navy, the Honorable Ray Mabus. Secretary, please stand. It was, I have the distinct pleasure of being able to speak today, but it was actually Secretary Mabus who named this ship. Thank you for the wisdom of naming this ship, Mr. Secretary. I also want to especially thank Senator Levin's daughters, Laura, Kate, and Erica, for serving as the sponsors of their father's name ship, the USS Carl M, DDG120. According to naval tradition, a ship's sponsor's spirit and presence guides her and her crew throughout her time in service. We are indeed honored that you are here with us today and that you will forever be the connection between the ship, her crew, and your father. And as a special thank you to Senator Levin's wife, Barbara, for your presence here this morning. For over 50 years, you graciously shared Senator Carl Levin with the American people. We simply cannot thank you enough for your contributions to making our nation as strong as it is today, as you served alongside your husband throughout his years of public service, both in Michigan and the United States Senate. Additionally, I want to recognize the USS Carl M Commissioning Committee, chaired by Rear Admiral Victor C. and Brigadier General Joe Nattens, for all the work that they accomplished in getting us here to this moment. And my heartfelt gratitude to Mayor Scott and the City of Baltimore for their warm welcome to this city. I spent 5 years pretty much living in this city because my youngest son is a graduate of Johns Hopkins University. So I have a fondness for this city, for that university, and especially for its crab cakes. It is great to be here in one of our country's historic maritime cities as we celebrate this milestone for our fleet and our nation. As I prepared for this event today, I couldn't help but reflect on the role that Baltimore has played throughout our nation's history, from witnessing the rocket's red glare during the War of 1812 to leveraging the might of its shipyards to construct hundreds of vessels during World War II. And today, Baltimore is the permanent home of the USS Constellation and the USS Torsk museums. Baltimore indeed continues to embrace its maritime heritage by supporting the U.S. Coast Guard's public shipyard, hosting the annual Maryland Fleet Week, and serving as the venue for us to welcome our warships to the fleet. And what a privilege it is to be here with you this morning in this city as we welcome USS Carl M to our Navy. As Admiral Gilday mentioned earlier, the crew of the USS Carl M and their industrial partners have worked tirelessly over the past several years to bring this mighty warship to life. We wouldn't be here today without them. To Commander Kraft, Command Master Chief Milliam, and the officers and crew of the USS Carl M, I know the sense of pride that you are filled with today and your eagerness to get underway for your very first mission. Over 20 years ago, when I served as Commissioning Commanding Officer of the USS Bulkley, my crew and I had the exact same feelings. The world that USS Bulkley sailed into in the wake of September 11th of 2001 was not unlike the world that we face today. There was a palpable sense of uncertainty as to what the future held. Today, once again, our sailors and our Marines face challenges around the globe and every environment that we operate in, from the seabed to the stars, as well as in the cyber domain. The regimes in Iraq and North Korea continue to act as destabilizing forces in their respective regions, conducting illicit and illegal activities in our maritime commons. In Europe, Russia continues its illegal and unjust aggression against Ukraine, violating its territorial integrity and national sovereignty. We will continue to support our Ukrainian partners in defense of their homeland as part of President Biden's strategy. Let there be no doubt. In the Indo-Pacific, the People's Republic of China continues the rapid expansion of its own Navy as part of its objective to create a world-class military by 2027. It is imperative that we, the United States of America, stand ready to support our international partners and our allies as we confront common challenges that endanger the freedom of millions, as well as disrupt the flow of commerce around the world. In order to do so, our nation needs to maintain a strong joint force. Our nation needs to maintain a strong Navy and Marine Corps as the foundation upon which the success of that joint force exists. This ship before you and our entire naval fleet supports not just the joint force, but our entire nation by guaranteeing our unencumbered access to a free and open maritime commons that serves as the lifeblood of our economy. As I've said before, economic security is indeed national security and vice versa. Senator Levin understood our nation's national and economic security requirements as a maritime nation to field a capable, lethal fleet backed by well-trained sailors and Marines. Throughout his decades of service, both as a member and as chair of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Senator Levin was a staunch advocate not just for the people of Michigan, but for our service members as well as their families. And I'd like to ask all the families of all our service members in active duty on the Carl Levin and elsewhere throughout the United States Navy and Marine Corps to please stand for a moment and be recognized. Thank you for your contribution to our national security. Senator Levin worked tirelessly to ensure that they received the pay and the benefits that they deserved. He also led oversight efforts to improve efficiency and reduce cost overruns in defense procurement, an endeavor our department carries on today as we focus on remaining responsible stewards of taxpayer funds. USS Senator Jack Reed said it best in his remarks memorializing Senator Levin's dedication to our national security, and I quote, "In times of war and peace, his contributions as chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee continue to make our nation stronger and protect Americans from harm," unquote. But Senator Levin was more than just a public servant. He was a dedicated husband, a father, a grandfather who worked hard to provide for his family. Like all of us here today, he wanted to leave behind a country, a world that his children and grandchildren could grow up in without worrying for their own peace and security. And that is why we honored to recognize his contribution to our nation throughout his lifetime of public service, as well as his dedication to our Navy and Marine Corps throughout his 36 years in the Senate by commissioning this warship in his honor today. As I close, I realize that I cannot promise the crew of the Carl Levin that they will always have fair winds and following seas. What I do know is that whatever the weather, whatever challenges they may face, they are ready to stand watch for our nation aboard our newest warship. Just like Senator Levin, I know that you, the crew of this namesake ship, will always be tenacious in the fight. Thank you again for joining us this morning for this truly special occasion. May God bless our sailors, our Marines, our civilians, and the crew of the USS Carl Levins and their families. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Del Toro. Sir, I would be honored if you would now place Carl M. Levin in commission.
Commander, place Carl S. Levin in commission.
Yes, sir. On behalf of the President of the United States, I hereby place United States ship Carl M. Levin in commission. May God bless and guide this warship and all who shall sail in her. Executive Officer, hoist the colors and commission pennant.
Aye, sir. Ship's company, attention! The commission pennant in professional navies began to take form late in the 17th century. All ships at the time were sailing ships, and it was often difficult to tell a naval ship from a merchantman. Navies began to adopt long, narrow pennants to be flown by their ships at the main masthead to distinguish themselves from merchant ships. The commission pennant will fly continuously until the ship is decommissioned. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. I direct your attention to the ship's mast as we hoist the colors and commission pennant. Quartermaster, hoist the colors and commission pennant.
Aye, aye, sir.
Captain, the colors and commission pennant are flying proudly over USS Carl M. Levin.
Very well.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
will now read my orders. From Commander, Naval Military Personnel Command, to Commander Kelly Craft, United States Navy. Subject, Buber's Order number 0314 of 1 April 2021, when directed by Reporting Senior, detached from present duty, and report to Pre-Commissioning Unit Carl M. Levin as Commanding Officer. Upon commissioning of USS Carl M. Levin, report for duty as Commanding Officer. Admiral Gilday, United States ship Carl M. Levin is in commission, and I am in command.
Very well. Sail proud, sail safe, and always be tenacious in the fight.
Aye, sir. Executive Officer, set the watch.
Aye, sir.
Forward, march. Right, face.
Officer of the deck, set the first watch.
Aye, aye, sir.
The officer of the deck is the commanding officer's direct representative, and while on watch is responsible for the safe operation of the ship and crew. The long glass is the traditional symbol of an officer of the deck's authority in a ship of the line. We are honored to have Brigadier General Joseph Nattens, United States Army retired, and Rear Admiral Victor C., United States Navy retired, our commissioning committee chairs, who will pass the long glass to our first officer of the deck, Ensign Dean Hicks from Oxon Hill, Maryland. The petty officer of the watch is Interior Communications Specialist, Second Class Taylor Ross from Monroe, Louisiana. The messenger of the watch is Fire Controlman Aegis, Second Class Krishna Raval from Dallas, Texas. And the boatswain mate of the watch is Senior Chief Boatswain Mate Kendall Burnett from Houston, Texas.
Set the watch. On deck, Section 1.
Sir, the watch is set.
Very well.
Forward, march.
Captain, the watch is set.
Very well. Captain Stefanik, USS Carl M. Levin is manned and ready and reports for duty, sir.
Very well. Station the fight in Ko'okikai.
Aye, sir. Secretary Del Toro, request permission to break your flag, sir.
Captain, break my flag.
Aye, sir. Executive Officer, break the flag of the Secretary of the Navy.
Aye, sir. Quartermaster, break the flag of the Secretary of the Navy.
Aye, aye, sir.
Captain, the flag of the Secretary of the Navy is flying proudly over USS Carl M. Levin.
Very well.
Ladies and gentlemen, Commander Kelly Craft, United States Navy, Commanding Officer, USS Carl M. Levin.
Ship's company, parade, rest. It's been such an honor and a privilege to be here. I thank all of the crew, the shipbuilders, and everyone out in the crowd and in the country today who has supported us through this journey. As mentioned, it's taken years to build this warship, and I can't think of a finer way to remember Senator Levin. I especially want to thank my girlfriend, my family, my friends, and everyone who has supported me throughout my journey through the Navy. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve as the commanding officer of a pre-commission unit. It was amazing being able to sail down the Kennebec and out to sea for the first time. There's nothing like being able to bring the crew together and accomplish the mission. We've still got thousands of miles to travel before we make it to our home port of Hawaii. but I know that this crew is the right crew for the job. They will remain tenacious in the fight, and they will lead this Greyhound to be the most feared warship in the world. Thank you. The spirit of a U.S. Navy warship is the embodiment of her sponsors. Miss Kate Levin Markle, Miss Laura Levin, and Miss Erica Levin christened the ship in Bath, Maine on October 2nd, 2021, where they imbued this ship and crew with their sense of devotion and public service. Ladies, I would be honored if you would give the order to man our ship and bring her to life.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Laura Levin, and my sisters and I are thrilled and deeply honored to be here in Baltimore on this extraordinary occasion with our mom, Barbara, our Uncle Sandy Levin, and our families, and we just want to say a few words to express our gratitude. When Dad retired from the Senate in 2014, he delivered his farewell speech just as the Senate was about to pass the Defense Authorization Bill. As chairman of the Armed Services Committee, Dad was once again in charge of shepherding that crucial annual bill through the legislative process, about 6 months of back and forth in a Congress that didn't agree on much. So as he looked back on his 36 years in the Senate, while also securing the operation of the military for the coming year, our country's men and women in uniform were very much on his mind. For Dad, political battles needed to be put aside whenever the well-being of our service members and their families were at stake. And that exercise of coming together, it also offered a great lesson in unity. In his final remarks, Dad noted that for more than 50 years, Senate Armed Services Committee members had managed to work through their disagreements to pass a defense authorization bill with bipartisan support for a simple reason. As Dad put it, those who serve in the military, quote, have inspired us year after year to come together across lines of party and ideology to support them. They not only protect us, they unite us. So as we gather to send off this great ship, the three of us remember our dad by thanking and congratulating the entire crew of the USS Carl M. Levin, who protect us and also unite us. We also want to extend our thanks to their families for their sacrifice. We are humbled and honored to be part of your celebration.
Good morning. I'm Kate Levin, and I have the privilege of recognizing three commanding officers who have led the USS Levin with great care and utmost professionalism. CO David Wagenborg led the nascent crew through its first months. We thank him for the ship's fitting seal and motto and for personally welcoming our dad and our family into the life of the ship. Interim CO Nate Chase built a supportive and inclusive culture on board that really reflected and reflects Dad's values. We thank him for his leadership and for his personal support during our dad's final weeks. And now, to Captain Kelly Craft, who over the last 2 years has indeed brought this ship fully to life. We have come to know his gracious and calm manner, his extraordinary talent, his mastery, and his integrity in building this operation and this community. Captain Craft, we thank you for your hospitality. We congratulate you, Executive Officer Holbrook, Master Chief Malia, and your entire team. And we look forward to staying in touch and visiting with the crew in the future. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Erica Levin, and I'd also like to extend my thanks to the commanders and add a few acknowledgments from our family. To start, thank you to Secretary Del Toro for being here today, and to Secretary Mavis as well. There are thousands of Navy personnel who have a hand in the DDG program, and we are thrilled that so many of you are here today with your families. We'd particularly like to thank the Navy's team who managed celebrations for new ships, Alicia Adneson, Debbie Simmons, and others. They worked so hard to make these events come together. Also, a most heartfelt thanks to the USS Carl M. Levin Commissioning Committee and the Baltimore Council of the Navy League, so ably led by Rear Admiral Victor C. and Brigadier General Joe Nattens. Thank you all for bringing us to this day. We're also joined today by representatives from Bath Iron Works and want to thank the BIW community for building this amazing ship. Finally, we'd like to acknowledge the many folks from Dad's Senate and committee staffs whose service in these offices is also reflected in this ship's name. As we head now to that very exciting moment of calling the crew aboard, we remember what Dad said at the keel laying about being the namesake for this incredible ship. He couldn't imagine a higher honor for an American citizen. Dad fully understood and appreciated that the crew will now put itself in harm's way to protect the freedoms we all enjoy. So today, once again, we want to honor and thank the crew of the USS Carl M. Levin, tenacious in the fight.
Officers and crew of the USS Carl M. Levin, man our ship and bring her to life.
Ladies and gentlemen, the crew of USS Carl M. Levin salute you. We are proud to serve in America's Navy. Carl M. Levin, ready to? Captain, USS Carl M. Levin is manned and ready.
Very well. Ship's company, parade, rest.
Ship's company, attention. Will the guests please rise and remain standing for the benediction that will be offered by Rabbi Reznikov.
Let us pray. Lord God, who made the heavens and the earth, the seas and all that dwell therein, we give thanks for the world and its beauty. But those who go down to the sea in ships know the grandeur of creation in a special way. One poet wrote that ships are the nearest things to dreams that hands have ever made, for in their hearts the soul of a song is laid. The prophets knew this song of ships and seas when they proclaimed to sing God's praise anew from around the world, all who sail the sea. As we conclude, we commend again the men and women who created this mighty ship. We pray for the safety and success of the crew that will sail it upon the waters to distant shores. May Carl Levin's legacy of integrity and moral courage inspire us to make our world a better place. May the faith and courage of this crew help them overcome all challenges and adversity with hope and perseverance, tenacious in the fight. May those who go down to the sea in this ship, the USS Carl M. Levin, inspire songs of praise from all the lives they touch as a symbol of strength and a beacon of hope for all who dream of, pray for, better times. And may we say, Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. Thank you for joining us today. Ship's tours will commence in 20 minutes. Please line up at the forward brow to your left if you wish to tour the ship. The last tour will be at 2:45 p.m. Buses will run continuously to your designated parking areas until 3:30 p.m.